In many of my coaching sessions with my clients, what comes up a lot is how can I express my emotions? How can I express what I'm feeling? A lot of us have trouble doing that. And many of it comes from childhood, and it's a fascinating topic that I'm not going to get into that in this video because I want to make it short and very practical and useful and beneficial. I wrote down more than a few ideas of how you can do that. The more typical recommendation is journaling. Journaling would be whether you sit down with a notebook, a journal, somewhere, obviously, hopefully by yourself. It could be out in your favorite place, whether that's a beach, a park, the mountains, or your backyard, or your room, or your car, or anywhere you want. By yourself, no distractions. Put your phone in airplane mode, no distractions, and just let it flow. And what I always recommend is that if you don't even know how to start, just write that in. I really don't know how to start. And just see what flows after that. And I feel silly doing this exercise that this crazy guy recommended on this video. Fine, just keep going. But it's funny how, and that something will come out of it. Trust me. You can set up a timer and be like, okay, I'm not gonna get up this chair until the timer goes off. You don't need to do that. Just do what resonates with you the most. Some people feel like they need that. Some people don't want that. You are your own coach. So see what resonates with you. Second one that I wrote down is drawing. And drawing any with pencils, pens, crayons, paints. I wrote down painting too, which are very similar. That's one that I use a lot sometimes. You don't need to try to make a perfect representation of the Mona Lisa or anything like that. You just do whatever comes up. If you want to draw, like when I was a kid, I used to do trees and the sun and birds and water and grass and mountains and people. Some days I feel like just doing that. If that's what's trying to come through me, to flow through me, don't overthink it. Just start doing crap. It doesn't even need to be an actual figure of something real. It can be lines and dots and circles and bubbles and stars and moons and whatever kind of shape you want to do. If you do it too much from here, it might not be coming truly from here. So just see what wants to flow through you. There's no right or wrong way. Because I know people are going to ask, but how do I know I'm doing it right, or what's more beneficial? There's no right or wrong way. Trust me. What's flowing through you, it's what wants to flow through you. Even if it feels meaningless, even if it feels dumb, even if it feels pointless, it wants to come through you. And maybe you need 10 minutes of complete crap, if you want to look at it that way, for you to reach that place where you can actually start to let it flow a little better. Because we've been suppressing our whole lives. It might take a little time. That's fine. Trust me, that's fine. So drawing and painting. This one's fun, and I do it a lot. Number 4. Yelling in your car. Or if you have a home where you're not going to freak anyone out, either neighbors or anyone else in your home. I don't know, if you have a place where you can go, you're not going to scare people, please don't scare anyone, because trust me, the amount of yelling that will come out of you will be impressive. I tend to do it in my car. If I feel anger bubbling up through me, if I feel frustration, anything like very hurtful, like disappointment from someone else, like don't overanalyze what the emotion's trying to tell you, or like, oh, I'm just judging them, because don't get overly like that self-development detective, which is fine at different stages of our journeys, and it's useful for different things. But here we're talking about expressing, not analyzing emotions. Expressing emotions, letting them flow through you, which sometimes can be way more healing, and it's a fascinating point, way more healing than over-analyzing every freaking emotion and feeling that you have. Just think about that one. Meditate on that one. Get on the car. You can be driving, you can be parked somewhere in the middle of nowhere where people are not going to hear you. Close the windows very well, like make sure they're closed, and just let it out. And you might start with a very gentle, like just simple whatever, because it's scary at first. Many people have told me like they're actually scared, and this is another fascinating point. We're scared of our anger. We're scared of expressing our anger, even though we're about to freaking explode, and then we take it out on our families, friends, our partners, our co-workers, or anyone out on the streets, or another car out on the road, on someone that bumps into you at the supermarket. And all that anger that's been waiting, like it's about to like freaking explode, now gets a little like nudge, a little bit of pressure that causes it to come out. If you express it safely, all these ones that I'm recommending to you is by yourself in a safe environment where no one is going to be impacted by your expression. So get in your car and just yell and yell and yell. Don't force it if you feel like you don't need to go that far. Don't suppress it if you want to actually go higher. Let it come out, let it flow. There's no right or wrong way with any of these that I'm sharing. No right or wrong way. Just let it flow, let it come out. Don't be afraid of your anger, please. Because imagine what's funny is that we're afraid of letting it come out, but we're not afraid of suppressing it and holding it inside. Isn't that funny? Like, that's very interesting. That's a very interesting idea. There's a truck coming by. Hopefully I'll be able to stay here. Number 5, dancing. Dancing is huge. If you're into dancing, if you like expressing yourself that way, oh my God, it can be incredibly healing. Incredibly healing. And many times not even like overly thinking about it and try to do an exact routine and do it in an exact perfect way of how it should be. But just allowing it to flow through you. Not thinking, not doing it from here. Just allow your body to do the work. Allow your body to do what it needs to do. Allow your body to do what it wants to do. So that's another big one. I'll use exercise first. So exercise is another one. I think I'm on number 6, or I don't even know. Exercise is huge. Sometimes we need a workout. Sometimes if we're all up in our minds, we need to come back down to the body. Think about that too. If you're spending too much time in the mind, that's why I like exercise so much. At one point I was like, is it just that I'm obsessed with like looking better and how people are gonna look at me and this and that, and I was like judging myself too much, and I realized like one of the reasons why I love and feel like I need exercise, I, like maybe 82% of human beings, I feel like I spend a lot of time in my head. And working out brings me back to my body, sensations within my body, how I'm feeling with my body, how I'm moving around. Exercise is a beautiful way to express. Because you can go out to a playground and mix working out with play. And use the playground as if you're a kid again. And let that inner child express himself or herself. Or you can use a very aggressive, angry workout if you feel like you need to let anger out, but you don't want to yell in your car like a crazy maniac like me. That's fine. You don't need to do that. So there's different ways of doing it. Let me see if I survive the truck coming through. I think I will, hopefully. So exercise is huge. Very, very beneficial in many different ways. If you feel like you need a more relaxing thing like yoga and stretching and that kind of thing, that can be very beneficial as well. Let me see. Yes, we'll survive and we'll keep it going. That way I don't have to cut the video short and then come back and they'll make it through, so I don't feel bad. The other one, which is an exercise, but I feel like for men it's incredibly beneficial, insanely beneficial, is boxing. Same thing, I've had a lot of anger repressed within me, like I couldn't find ways of expressing it. I was afraid of expressing it, and I found boxing, and I fell in love with it. And I love, first of all, of course, the physical aspect of it, like getting in shape, because you can do a lot of like running and things for your lower body, but I feel like for my upper body, I loved the act of boxing, and it just on many different levels. I feel for men, we need to channel our natural aggression. Like it's of course, if you're talking about the balanced, perfectly balanced male, some people say like, oh, you will not feel anger, you will not express anger. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry that I'm not at that level yet, but I feel like many of us need to express it, need to let it out. I know many women that, of course, women also have anger, repressed anger, and some aggression that they have suppressed and they need to get out. So any kind of martial arts or boxing, anything like that, is insanely beneficial for them. And we're seeing more and more and more women go into those kinds of practices. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. If that's what resonates with them, then that's perfect. And the last one, which is insanely beneficial. You might never need a coach ever again. You're welcome. Is to get a recorder or your phone, any device, your computer can do that too. Same thing, go out somewhere where you're relaxed, no distractions, like this freaking truck behind me, no distractions, hit record and let it come out. Just like the journaling, no right or wrong. If you don't know how to start, just say, I don't even know how to start, and see what comes next. If you want to say, I hate you, Gonzalo, for recommending this crazy exercise to me, perfect. You can say, I feel like I'm going crazy. Good. I felt that way too. This one naturally gets a lot of resistance. People are hesitant towards exploring this one, towards playing with this one. And that's another fascinating topic. What are we afraid of? What are we trying to avoid? Like, is it because we know that something painful will come out of it? Is it because you feel like, oh, only crazy people talk to themselves? Like, you're not talking to yourself, and even if you are, what's wrong with that? Like, it's funny to question those beliefs that we have. So if any of these tools really resonate with you, I highly encourage you to go with that one. And if one of them feels like, oh, that's so weird, like that's way too much for me, that's way too weird, that's way too out there, I highly invite you to question that belief. Gently, lovingly, with compassion. But why do you feel that way towards that? And by the way, of course, I'm not saying these are the most amazing tools in the world, and I'm not even saying like I made them up and they're my idea, so I'll feel hurt if you don't like them. I'm just inviting you to get to know yourself a little better. So that's it. I was hoping this video would be a lot shorter, but I wanted to make sure that a lot of people ask me this question, so if I can actually refer you to this video, that might be more helpful than me trying to explain it through a message. So I really hope it helps. Remember, go at it with an open mind, open heart, no judgments, no right or wrong. And see, play with it, have fun, laugh, smile, cry if you need to cry, do whatever comes up. There's no need to suppress anything, no need to force anything. Let it flow. And you might ask, how do I let it flow? I don't know. We're all learning about it, I think. There's no formula for flow, even though there's a bunch of them online. Let it flow. Let it come through. If it takes you 5 trials, if you need to try it 10 times, there's nothing wrong with that. Each time you're going a little deeper. Each time you're getting closer to this and to you. Much love. Hope that helps.